Welcome to the West Indian Women Network. I am Priscilla Ramtran, the founder, here in Pennsylvania on a very chilly day. And we are back with Emily Chee with Your Life Path in sunny Trinidad. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you, Priscilla.
You're welcome. So Emily is here to share her upcoming workshops on relationship matters. So tell us, what are you up to?
Yeah, so relationships matter, right? Don't they? We can't actually exist in this world without relationships. And there's this, this is research backed. The quality of our life actually depend on or reflect the quality of our relationships. So they really do matter. It's important to ensure that we have healthy relationships. And I think sometimes it doesn't always come naturally. So some of us may have a natural tendency to nurture our relationships and be around people who are nurturing and supportive. And some of us have more of a challenge with that, maybe because of our personalities, for different reasons, maybe because of the work environment that we are in, or the different people that we have met, or maybe we just grew up in a home where we didn't have always the right role models. So sometimes we need to learn these things. And the point is we can learn and improve our relationships and therefore improve our lives.
I love that. And who best to learn from? Emily. That's right. So you work with mostly professionals in the workplace to develop their relationships. What's that like?
Yes. So work is a place you spend a lot of your time. At least a third of your time is in work, at least 8 hours every day of a big part of our life. So having healthy work relationships, again, really impacts how happy we feel in a job, how we perform. It even impacts our health, right? The stress levels that we feel and so on. So again, being able to develop quality relationships and network with the people that you work with, as well as the wider community in which the professional community you exist in, is very, very important for your success in your career. So understanding how to do that. And then sometimes too, there are difficult people that we bump into. And we might become a team leader of people who might be challenging to work with, or we might be in a team with challenging people. And for us, learning to manage how we feel and being able to communicate more clearly and create even relationships with people who may be difficult, for us, that benefits us. So instead of feeling like we have to avoid, or feeling, a lot of negative feelings about not wanting to be in that space or whatnot, which if we have no choice and this is the job we have now, I think it's really, really helpful for us to understand how to handle ourselves and our emotional selves in that space.
Definitely. And stress can be such a harmful factor in our health, our sleep. And like you said, you spend all this time with these individuals working together, but can that sometimes be confused with, my happiness depends on what these people are doing? Or how can we turn back where we are not depending on others to make us happy, but we're still able to function?
Yeah. Well, happiness is an inside job. I think most of us know that. However, we also fall into the trap of wanting validation externally. Again, most of us have learned that in our lives. So when we are too reliant on external validation, and it is not present for whatever reason, we may end up not feeling happy with ourselves. So the first thing I think we need to recognize is that over-reliance on other people to make us happy, that's a kind of fallacy and not a really good place to be in. It's not empowering at all, because it makes us want to have to do things we may not want to do, maybe not be our true selves, because we feel like we must fit in, or we have to get this okay from other people and that kind of thing. So allowing yourself to learn how to validate yourself, which is a big part of learning about yourself, relying on your strengths, I guess building that capacity from inside, because we all have it. helps us to be able to lessen that reliance. So the first thing to know is that in a healthy relationship, you're kind of required to have like two, if you're thinking two people or a group of people, but each person should be whole in themselves. So if I'm whole in myself, I'm not relying on you, Priscilla, for my happiness and my worth. I know that I'm worthy and I'm happy for myself. And then you, being another whole person, have that as well. And then that in itself creates what is the most healthy of relationships. So the idea is for us is to continue to grow ourselves, heal ourselves, if that's what we need to do, learn about ourselves so that we can become more and more whole and healthy. And therefore we can contribute to that relationship more fully.
Absolutely.
And confidently too.
And confidence is a big factor. Yes, it all starts right here. But like you said, some of us come from environments where we haven't learned that, or it wasn't present to us, or we're trying to be what we needed then. We're trying to be that role model, but we don't have the tools. So then we find Emily.
Yes.
Because you have the training, the professionalism, the certification to then guide those who have that missing factor. And the fact that you're working with professionals, they would want employees to be whole in order for the company to succeed, have great communication, strong relationships. And I really appreciate that you're an asset to helping those find their voice, find their confidence, find empathy. And I love that you talk about it starting with yourself.
Yes, yes. So in anything that we do, we have ourselves first, right? So whether you are just a team player, and I say just very loosely, but a team player in an organization, a member of a team or the leader of that team, you have yourself to deal with first. And so we human beings are emotional beings. So something happens, a decision is made, whatever occurs, maybe somebody complains, a customer is irate, whatever happens, emotions occur. We can get angry, frustrated, we can be, whatever occurs. The point is we are emotional beings. However, we tend not to recognize our emotional selves. And therefore, a lot of times the emotion is running the show without us being present to that. So a big part of the workshop, Relationships Matters, allow people to kind of understand and get connected with the feelings that occur when things happen. So something happens and we just react, but we didn't realize why we reacted. We reacted because maybe we felt hurt, maybe we felt angry, maybe we felt, slighted, whatever it is. And therefore we retorted or commented in a certain way because that was the feeling in the moment. We didn't take a minute, second to process that feeling and say, okay, do I need to react? Do I, maybe I didn't. It's something I could have processed for myself before, making the situation worse. So, or potentially, escalating things. So this is part of it. So I think sometimes we don't recognize the way we speak, and we don't always recognize our own emotional responses, which impacts the communication and what occurs thereafter. And once we learn how to do that, so some of it is self-management. Once we learn how to do that, we are able to then speak in a way that connects. So even if somebody did upset us or hurt us or slighted us or whatever, we can connect with them. We can speak to them in a way where they are not feeling judged or put off or get on the defensive, which again makes that discussion worth. Instead of being able to build the bridge, you're creating potentially a wider, gap.
Yeah.
And you don't want, if you want relationships to work, the point is we'll all disappoint each other at some point. We're human, right? We'll all make mistakes. We won't necessarily do always what we say and whatnot, but we're all working towards improvement. So how can I, in my relationship with whomever, speak to them in a way that creates that ability for them to connect with me and for us to be able to work on doing things that meet the needs of each other. so that the relationship grows and maybe the team or whatever grows.
Right, right. And that could be draining when you're always focused on the emotions as opposed to not taking it personally, kind of being in the now. What is going on here? Assessing the situation. And again, sometimes we don't have the tools to do so. So having a workshop like yours really can, like you said, build that bridge for yourself first so that when you go into a situation with other people, it's not, what they are doing, but more so how I am reacting to what they are doing. I
Yes,
love
yes,
that. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So tell me more about the structure of the workshop, what to expect, what it entails.
Yeah, so the workshop is going to be done in 7 sessions because the work that I do as a coach, it's not just providing information or but allowing the time to practice and the accountability to do so. So when you come to the workshops, you are not on a weekly basis, so over 7 weeks, you'll be learning tools and practicing them when you go back out into your workplace or where, into your home relationships, because whatever you learn across one sphere goes across the other. So, you'll be bumping into situations that affect you and maybe difficult conversations to be had and so on. And you'd have different tools to use. And you'd start to observe how you are processing the reaction in you so that you understand, okay, this is what's going on inside of me. So that's the emotional intelligence part. This is what's going on inside of me, and this must be what's going on inside of the other person. And there's also some empathy work in there too, to understand first the empathy for self and the other. And then being able to, again, as I said, communicate that out. So as you learn the process and as you see yourself in a different light, you then go out and practice. You come back, we share, we talk, we learn some more. You go out and practice. And so over the 7 weeks, at the end, you have a good sense of being able to manage yourself totally differently in those situations where you found yourself to be challenged. And that is, I think, very valuable. Plus, you're doing it with a small group. So there's accountability built in with the group. There's learning from each other as we share. So there's a lot to gain from doing this.
I love it. I love it. And I honestly like working with a group, the support from the group. You're hearing stories that are similar to yours, or maybe I overreacted for that situation, and you kind of build a story in your head, but now you meet somebody who also experienced that. So it's like not so heavy on you anymore because you're still human at the
Exactly.
end of the day. Yes.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So you will send me all of the information for the workshops, how to sign up. If you have questions for Emily, you can reach out and ask and, set up that time, create that space, and have a successful 7 weeks.
Yes, it's going to be fun. And we start on November 1. So registration closes at the end of this month. We're in October. And we also have an early bird where you get 10% off right now if you sign up with a friend.
Who
So
doesn't like a discount?
The cost of the workshop is 1,500 TT, which is 225 US altogether. And that's about it. And yes, I will send you all the links and everything.
Thank you. And I feel like you cannot put a price on personal development because in the long run, you are learning so much about yourself, learning how to get your power back, to be confident, but also to do it in a tasteful way where you're showing empathy, you're attracting like-minded people. And, you and I are big law of attraction fanatics. So that's wonderful. Any last message?
Well, as I said at the beginning, it is not me saying this, but if you go on Google, you will see that the quality of your life is reflective of the quality of your relationships. So if you feel like your relationships can improve, it's really, really great for you to take the first step by training yourself up so that you can start communicating differently, you can understand yourself better. And in so doing, start to improve your relationship. You can be the model for those around you. So that's what I encourage you to
Wonderful.
do.
And what I love about working with you, Emily, is you're so genuine and authentic. You don't mince your words, and you just let me know exactly what it is that you're thinking, plain and simple, nothing complicated. And that's what I love. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing. You're welcome. Best wishes for the workshop. And, we hope to hear from you in future recordings.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Priscilla. Always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Emily. High five. Air high five.